Hi, it's Pete the Bumbling Modeler back again. This is going to be more of an update than what I've done. Progress has been quite slow on the Suzuki, as you would have noticed by the lack of uploads. There are reasons. I'll talk about that, and I'll talk about how I'll try and change things. So first off, what we've done since it was last on, I can't remember if we mentioned it, but the frame's been sprayed a gloss black. Swinging arm needs some masking, then we're going to spray that in aluminium colour. Shock absorber done. Engine does fit in there. I've just noticed there's a bolt missing out of that. I'll have to replace that. And then I made a start on the bodywork. So you can see there's black pinstripes all over it. And the reason for that is the bike I used as a reference photo, of which there should be a picture of it somewhere in that area there. I quite like the blue and the white scheme it had, so I'm going to try and replicate that. I've got no decals, so it's all going to be sprayed by hand. So I spent many a happy hour sort of masking off. It doesn't seem like it takes a long time, but to get these lines to line up when it's all in place so you get the right demarcation line was quite a taxing thing, and some of them need a bit of touching up, but we will end up with a white, blue and white sort of set of stripes on it, which should, if it works out, look quite good. And this is part of the delay. So for actually doing that, I was just slicing thin strips of masking tape on this Infinity cutting mat, so it's all graded to different sizes, and I'm using 0.5 mm widths. I'll just show you quickly what I did so you can see that. So I'd end up, and this is without me magnifiers on, so it might look a bit rough, but for example, let's show you here. I'm not going to do it here, obviously. I need another coat of paint, I think. I put the row of masking tape where I wanted the black line. Then I sandwiched it's quite an expensive sort of waste of tape type thing, but it works. Sandwiched a piece of tape, so without my head magnifiers on, this is a bit tricky. It's very tricky to do on camera, which I didn't film it all. Sandwich a bit of tape either side of where you want your black line. This is a very quick, rough version of it, so just so you can see what's happened. Then you peel that one away. Then you can mask either side of that, then just spray in the black lines. That's how I got all the pinstriping on it. And, it's something that I'm happy with because I know how hard it was. But if someone doesn't know how hard it was and they'll look at it, they'll think it looks a bit messy. But it's all part of the learning curve. I don't think you can do it without one of these cutting mats, otherwise you spend a fortune on really thin tape. And this Tamiya tape does bend around curves such as that relatively easily. So it all worked out. It was a couple of evenings doing it. And this is why I've sort of, well, there's two reasons of ground to a halt. I've got this white sprayed white with Pro Scale Rally White, which is the same as Tamiya XF1 and TS26, that sort of thing. For all my automotive modelling, I like to use Pro Scale paints. They go on really easily. They're pre-thinned for an airbrush, and you get a really nice flat satin finish that you can decal over. So I do need to give another coat on that. I've just seen it's worn through. I've had a bit of a messy bit there, so I've flattened it off and I've oversprayed it. But generally speaking, happy with that. So the downside of these is you do need to gloss when you've finished. So for the glossing, I'm using the Pro Scale 2K clear coat. So it's a chemically hardening gloss coat. There's debates about whether modelers should be using this or not. It is incredibly toxic. So I've got a spray booth, I've got masks, a glove up, so I'm all right. If you're spraying just into fresh air, I wouldn't touch it with a barge pole. If you can have proper extraction, you won't get a better gloss finish. I've used other 2Ks, Zero Paints was one of them, and I forget the one I used, but they always go on quite thick, so it looks like you're looking at a toffee apple when you see it. This gives a nice scale sheen, and it sort of flattens off nicely. You'll see when I do it, but this is part of the delay. So with this, you've got about a 3-month shelf life before it hardens in the bottle anyway, once it's open. So I don't really want to just do it and waste it. So in the background, I've been planning to build this Belkit's Metro 6R4, because we've got a bit of a thing about old rally cars. So before I I'll get the blue on this obviously, but before I gloss this one, I want to have this in a position to be glossed as well, so that I can just mix up one batch of this, get it on that, get it on this, and walk away. That's partly a cost thing, but it's also partly I don't want to expose myself to too much sprayed epoxy in the air. So if I have just one day spraying, I can just walk away, let the shed calm down, let everything dry off, and then come back. And then I'll probably put that to one side and crack on with this one. So part of the delay is waiting till this is up to the same standards that for painting. Sorry, this cough won't ever go away. So that's a little bit of what's delaying me. The other thing is, you've probably noticed in the background a wooden sailing ship, which would be here, which we're playing around with. Now, that is part of a group build for an online forum I'm on, and it has to be finished by the end of December, 1st of January. So I've fallen way behind on that. And I think this is probably where I've gone wrong. I tried to start a YouTube channel midway through this, and I want to spend all my time doing the YouTube bit because I quite enjoy the editing side of it and that sort of thing. But I also need to get this done. So moving forward from December, if I do a group build, it'll be something far simpler that, so I can build it alongside and get them both finished at a reasonable time. So in the new year, I think we'll have a lot more regular output from me regarding the plastic modelling. I mean, I can show people things on that if they're interested, and I'm quite happy to show anything I do, but it's awkward to film that sort of thing. So I think this Suzuki it'll be built and it'll be all updated, but I think it's going to stall a little bit up until the new year when I've got that boat finished. I'll add little bits and show little 5 minutes here and 5 minutes there, but I'm also conscious this isn't really getting the same views as the little Austin Tillier did, which I can understand because partly I'm only semi-committed to this and I'm kind of half-arsing it, so you're not getting the best out of me with that. And also it's quite niche, so I do fully intend to carry on building automotive things, but I think I'll try and throw in a little short Tamiya 48th military vehicle type thing as well, because you can build them quite quickly. You can show quite a lot of detail in quite a short video, and they seem to get some views. So this will appear and disappear up until Christmas, and then it'll really take off. Might even be finished by then, I don't know. And then it's what to build next. I am going to do the Belkit 6R4. I'm quite happy to put that up as videos. If anyone wants to see that being done, then I'll film away at that one. And I'll probably wait till I've got a big chunk of it done, do a lot more editing so you're not seeing a lot of boring stuff, and throw that up in a series of shorter videos. I can do military type models, anything else. So anyone who wants to see anything in particular, please put it in the comments and I'll see what I can do. The other thing is I've had a bit of a switch. I've always used an eye water Eclipse I'll say always, for the past 10 or 15 years, airbrush. And I really like the thing. This is getting a bit long in the tooth now. Needs a good clean as well. But this time last year, I bought this Galleria Mobius. It's the 0.3 one, so it hasn't got the Mac valve on it. And I must admit, I forgot I bought it. I bought it. It was one of these spike buys of, you'll buy a new pair of shoes, I'll buy something childishness. And when I came to do these stripes, I thought I sort of dug it out. I was actually pricing up buying one of these this year in the Black Friday sales, and I realised I already had one, and that's how silly it got. But I use this for the black pinstripes, and I find it really comfortable, and I'm enjoying using it. So I think I may put this one on the back burner for a while and get used to this Mobius. There's two things that are significant about it. This is half the price of that, and the quality feels the same-ish. Okay, this paint cup's a bit thicker and that's a bit thin, but basically they feel very similar. That's got a nicer trigger, and it's got funky brass bits on it. So this is about 65, 70 pounds. This is about 130, 140, so it's half the price, which is surprising with the quality. But it's a lot easier to clean the nozzle on this one. When you finish spraying, it just all drops out, and you can just chuck that in a bath of thinners and it's fine. So that's a lot easier to play with. It doesn't seem to need as much cleaning as my Iwata, and I think it's the air passages on this are nice big chunky things that go past the needle, whereas in the Iwata you've got 3 tiny little holes, so it tends to be a bit more hit and miss when you're cleaning it. You have to strip it down virtually every time when you're changing colours, otherwise you get little spits and spats. And the other thing that's notable about this is the price of spares. So a needle and nozzle, which I tend to go through every couple of years where they wear out, is about 10 quid on that. Just the nozzle assembly on this Iwata is about 25. So to change the needle and nozzle on this, you're talking the best part of 50 or 60 quid, which is the price of this whole airbrush. So I'm still going to keep this. I'm still going to use it. I'm going to give it a good old service and a clean, and put it in a drawer so I need it when I'm doing the fine, delicate work. I've got it. But from now on, I think I might make this Mobius your workhorse and see how I get on with it. So that's a slight. It's not something you'll see because I don't often show spraying, but I'll let you know how we get on with it, because they are exceptionally good value for money on the surface unless it starts to break down pretty quick. So that's where we are. Sorry there hasn't been much progress on this. There will be some progress on the boat. I'll get the blue sprayed on this and do a quick thing to show you what it looks like when it's all done. Then we'll get this ready with decals on it so it can gloss both of those. If we can get any more done on this over the Christmas break, you'll see 1 or 2 little short 5-10 minute videos going up, and that's where we are really. So thanks for watching what you watched so far. Sorry this one's been a little bit dull. I've enjoyed doing it because it's a bike I've always wanted to build, but it's been I'm aware myself it's not been my most exciting work, and that's where we're at. So I'm going to switch it off now. If you want me to build anything in particular, provided I afford the kit, I'm happy to have a stab at anything. Or if you want to see this 6R4 built, let me know and I'll do that as the next video. I've also got a 7 lifeboat, RNLI 7 lifeboat somewhere there that needs doing. I've got a 70-second Zero. I've got Mitsubishi Zero I got free in a gift box. So I've got a few little kits kicking around. So yeah, we can do any of those, or I can buy something new that takes me eye. If I was going to buy something new, it's probably going to be a 48 scale Tamiya military vehicle, because that seems to be my most popular thing so far. So that's where we are. I'm going to switch off now, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.